second upload for today, the 1st of April, um, is basically touching on the issue of spirituality and technology. Um, there's a lot about spiritual violations that I could say that I've experienced since I got married in 2015, and there's a lot I could say about people that have imposed and discussed matters that they have no knowledge of. There's a lot I could say about the contradictory nature of the assumptions that people have been making in this entire vendetta of hate crime. What I find concerning most of all, with regard to spirituality and technology, is the contradictory nature of how it is applied and how it's used, and to what ends people violate um, unethically and without any sense of consequence and without any sense of morality. Um, while I was studying to become a teacher, a primary teacher, I studied religion, and as a part of my religion and religious studies, um, the issue of morality was quite important in our studies and our tutorials. And the issues that I find very concerning since becoming a mother is how people have been so um, rude and disrespectful of my personal faith, which is none of anyone else's business. There are people that have perpetrated very serious violations and they have no conscience about what they're doing. There are people that have attained information unethically and damaged human life, and that have damaged family lives, and that have damaged professional opportunities and careers. These people have exploited a situation on false premises, on falsehoods, and on defamatory comments and statements. The intrusion of people into a person's personal life without having direct contact or having any consent or without having any authorization to be even discussing another person's private life just shows how dangerous the situation has become apparent since I became married and since I became a mother to a property owner. The obstruction of justice that I've experienced is horrendous. The legal violations are absolutely horrendous. And I'm choosing my language carefully for these uploads due to the nature of these people that have been preying on me and intruding upon me and violating my privacy since I became married and since I gave birth. These people have been responsible for the most horrendous offences, and the obstruction of justice is absolutely frightening. These people have manipulated circumstances and relayed falsehoods, and they have claimed to be of superior um, mentalities, and yet haven't had the decency or courtesy to correct the defamation that they're responsible for. These people have not had the courtesy or the common sense to respect other people's faith, religion, or spirituality. So these kind of circumstances that I'm experiencing with these people intruding upon me and thinking they're in a position to call the shots, so to speak, while violating the Declaration of Human Rights, just shows how serious the circumstances occurring. These people have not only damaged my livelihood, but have also been responsible for harming other people, innocent people. And basically, this circumstance of spirituality and technology, I have very serious concerns about. My light body was very seriously damaged. I've experienced medical negligence, and I've experienced defamation and intrusions of people that don't even know me. But because of their ill-serving agendas and their um, own um, notions, they have affected uh, society in ways that are unimaginable and have caused very serious harm as well as a consequence. So, as I'm speaking of these spiritual violations, I think it says a lot when church gates in a town are closed due to the misconduct and breaches of faith and religion and spiritual assault. This situation is absolutely horrendous for any light worker to be experiencing. And these people that have obstructed justice and that have violated family life, professional opportunities, etc., 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 have been no more than hypocritical and contradictory to the greater cause of what is intended for spirituality and technology in the modern age. So, those people that are abusing progress and development for ill serving agendas have done a huge disservice to society and humanity. These people have thought themselves above the law, have thought themselves above the lay of the land, and that is absolutely despicable for any modern professional to be guilty of. So, this situation that I'm confronted with, that I am sharing about every day, or as often as possible, is basically an account of how people have breached privacy, confidentiality, private lives, etc., etc., all for their own ill serving agendas. To withhold information that a person is entitled to is one serious issue. To alter information and falsify information and to defame a person without knowing them is another very serious offence. And to unethically attain information is absolutely frightening in 2020. So, this is what's occurring, and I'm being ignored, and my plight is being ignored, and these people manipulating this situation and shifting the goalposts and changing their stories and changing their tactics are causing a very worrisome circumstance for women's rights and children's rights and human rights. So basically, uh, the concept that I'm aware of with regards to technology and spirituality would be to attain information honestly and to apply the concepts of justice. This situation has been absolutely disgraceful. These adults, these professionals that have violated my privacy, that have defamed me, and that have exploited my light body, and that have violated faith and religion, that is none of their business, have crossed over so many boundaries and so many lines without any concept or consideration for consequences. So the authorities, the lawmakers, the judiciary, the legal system that are aware of the obstruction and perversion of justice that I'm experiencing, I hope they know the vastness of this issue of vendetta and hate crime and the implications for civic society. I hope they understand the implications for human rights, and I hope they understand the implications for marital rights, medical rights, and legal rights. So while these people are considering themselves above the law, and while they're attaining information unethically and violating privacy and disrespecting humanity, I hope the politicians and the UN agencies are fully aware that at no cost whatsoever is what I'm experiencing laughable or inconsequential. This situation that has been caused by these people that are guilty of sin and that have thought themselves in a position to violate and disrespect a person's right to freedom, a right to family life, a right to career, profession, etc., etc., the right to the truth and the right to justice are in a very detrimental sense destroying humanity. So I hope the authoritarians in society that have concepts and respect of civic society understand what I am being what I'm being subjected to. This is what's going on with these kind of people that have no sense of morality. So for 2020, rather than considering PR stunts, and besides changing the storylines and the plot and the characters and the scenes, this scenario, this vendetta, is not a stage set. This is real life, and this is what's being done by people that have no morality or concept of consciousness or any conscience either. So, those people that are defaming me, violating my privacy, and stealing from me, I hope the authoritarians, the politicians, the UN agencies would promptly sit up and acknowledge how serious this is. These people that are guilty of these spiritual violations and legal violations are not to be assisted in any sense at all. So, as my second upload, this is what's occurring as a deserted wife and mother and teacher and humanitarian. This is what's happening in public accommodation in a place where I've been exploited and my bodily integrity violated and my light body destroyed. This is what's happening in a vendetta of hate crime, and this is a sad sign of the times.